Thưa quý vị, luôn thống trị những vị trí cao trong bảng xếp hạng các trường đại học tốt nhất trên thế giới. Không quá ngạc nhiên khi Mỹ luôn là môi trường học tập đáng mơ ước của nhiều học sinh sinh viên. Tuy nhiên, để vào học tại các trường đại học top đầu tại Mỹ là điều không dễ dàng bởi vì điều kiện rất cạnh tranh như là yêu cầu GPA, IELTS, TOEFL cao, điểm SAT, ACT, viết luận vân vân. Vậy thì có lộ trình nào khác dành cho các bạn học sinh hay không? Mời quý vị và các bạn cùng New Education tìm ra câu trả lời. Và ngày hôm nay thì chúng tôi đã mời đến đây một vị khách mời vô cùng đặc biệt. Xin được phép giới thiệu cô Charmin đến từ trường American Collegiate.
Hi, thank you so much for having me here. I'm Charmin Asan-Berjali, and I'm the Managing Director of the International Accelerator at American University. Just in terms of background, I have been an international student myself from the time I was in kindergarten, actually, to the time I went to university. My father was a diplomat, so we've lived all over the world. And I've always had a passion for working with international students. I've been in the higher education industry for just over 20 years. I'm of course at American University now, but prior to that, I've done work at the George Washington University. I've worked at Georgetown University, as well as Boston College in Massachusetts.
Ms. Charmin, thank you so much for joining us in this video. So to begin with, please introduce our students some general information about ACDC program, like who the program is designed for, and also where do you study?
Sure. So American Collegiate is a very, very unique program. It's designed for undergraduate level students, and students are able to do the first of their 4 years of education at the undergraduate level in the American Collegiate program. So our curriculum offers students the opportunity to get their general education requirements done. So students will take some required courses, but they'll also take courses in math, and there's an English composition course. Students will often take economics, but really all of this is with the goal to make sure that students are making progress towards their undergraduate degree while they're making their decision about where they want to study for the next 3 years. So the American Collegiate program, it's offered at American University in Washington, D.C. And American University, as you might know, it's a top-ranked university in the United States. Right now, we're ranked number 72 per U.S. News and World Report. And there's a number of different kinds of students that enroll into the American Collegiate program. So there's some students who are just not sure where they want to study, so they take the year to understand the U.S. higher education system a little bit more, but they're also not wasting that year, so they're completing 1 full year of undergraduate coursework while they're doing that. Some students come to the American Collegiate program because they just didn't do as well as they wanted in high school, and so they take the year to get their grades up so that they can transfer to a high-ranked university. We also have some other students that are taking this opportunity to really think about what's a good fit for them. So we really talk to our students about their academics, what the different majors are. We try to understand what their strengths are, what their interests are, and make a fit for them based on a wide variety of those types of things.
So I can say that ACDC will open another door for students who want to study at the top universities in the US, but they're not qualified to apply directly, right?
Mm-hmm.
So could you please explain in detail like how the program will be beneficial for these students?
Sure. So I think, let me start off by saying that admission to a top university is much harder when students apply as a freshman. Transfer students are actually admitted at higher rates. So there is a benefit right there. So once students have done their first year at American University through the American Collegiate program, students are now eligible to apply as transfers. What we offer basically is a 1-year program where students are able to make progress towards their degree, but they're also taking this opportunity to really understand the U.S. higher education culture. So we talk to students about the difference between a public university or a private university. We talk to students about different majors. We provide an assessment to students so that we can understand what their strengths are. And we take all of that information and we support them through our transfer advising process. So our students are supported at every step of the way. We encourage students to visit different universities as well. But the transfer advisor is really their partner in this journey and in this process. And this is the person that will make sure that they are making progress throughout the process and hitting all the milestones. They'll help students understand what are the requirements. They'll help students go through the process. If students need to take a TOEFL or an IELTS, we have the opportunity for students to do some prep work, and that's also included as part of the program as well. So really, our goal is to provide customized support for students throughout the transfer process.
So how many credits can the student transfer to if they complete the program at ACDC? And can you name some of the universities that our student has successfully transferred to?
Sure. So generally, students will complete around 30 credits in the American Collegiate program. And just as an example, to graduate with an undergraduate degree at American University, students will need 120 credits. So basically, this represents the first of 4 years. The way that our curriculum is designed, we want to make sure that the courses our students take general enough that they will be accepted by a wide variety of universities, but also specific enough so that if a student wants to get their degree in physics, for example, that they're taking enough math courses to be on track to finish in 4 years. I also want to mention that, of course, American Collegiate is based at American University, and about 50% of our students end up staying at American University, and of course, all the credits transfer to American. And we've had students transfer to not only American, but some of the top universities in the US, but also around the world. We've had students go to Emory, Boston University, NYU, the George Washington University, just to name a few. But we've also had students apply to and are interested in sort of specialized universities. So we've had, students go to the Savannah School of Art and Design, for example. After attending the American Collegiate program, some students realize that they perhaps are better suited to a university abroad. So our program not only helps students transfer to universities that are in the US, we also help students transfer to universities abroad if that is ultimately what they decide.
So the students can choose either to stay at American University to study the rest 3 years, or they want to transfer to another university to complete a bachelor degree. So during your time working at ACDC, I believe that you've been seen a lot of students who successfully transfer. So could you please share with us about one case that impresses you the most?
Sure. The story that I often tell is a story about a young lady. Her name is Melanie, and she's from Ecuador. And she had completed her schooling in Ecuador with the goal to go to NYU. However, the way that the school system in Ecuador worked, she missed the deadline to apply to NYU, but instead of staying at home and doing nothing, she decided that she would enroll in American Collegiate so she can continue to make progress towards her undergrad degree. And Melanie, after completing the American Collegiate program, she decided that the best fit for her was actually the George Washington University, even though she had admission to NYU. And the reason that I like to tell the story is because it really talks about what we do at American Collegiate. So we took the opportunity to work with her and introduce her not only to NYU, but also other universities like NYU.
So hopefully this story will inspire many of you. So you mentioned that ACDC will be delivered at American University's campus. Could you please tell us a bit more about the university? Because I know that American University itself is a very high-ranked university.
That's right. So American University is ranked number 72 through US News and World Report. And one of the things that I often talk about when I come abroad is that number 72 ranking in the US is a very big honor and very different than, for example, a number 72 ranking in Canada. I don't know if you're aware, but in Canada, there are only around 150 or so universities. So 72 in Canada means much less than 72 in the US, where there are over 4,000 colleges and universities. American is, at the forefront of education and innovation, but some of the better known schools at American are the School of International Service. We have a really great business school, which is actually the oldest business school in Washington, D.C. We have an outstanding School of Communication where students are able to not only get a quality education, but also have the opportunity to do real-world projects with employers in the DC area. Our School of Public Affairs is very, very well ranked. And of course, we are in Washington, DC, so public affairs and political science are topics that are of interest to students in many different programs and majors, actually. The other thing that I think people are often very surprised to hear is that American University is a very traditional university campus. It's the kind of campus you see in movies. So there is a quad and there are buildings that are around it. And we're located in a very safe residential area in Washington, D.C. In fact, our two neighbors are the Department of Homeland Security, and the Vice President of the United States actually is just around the corner from you.
So one of the things that most parents and students want to know about is about the cost to study and also the requirement to get into the program. So please share with us.
Sure. So the tuition for the American Collegiate program for a 2-semester offering is around $50,000 US. And students in our program are also living in our program housing, and that is really important to us because we really want our students to be supported throughout their first year there, and we have on-staff advisors that live in their housing location as well. And in terms of the requirements, in order to be admitted to American University's American Collegiate program, students must have a GPA of at least a 2.5. Yes, although many of our students actually are much better qualified. I think our average GPA for the American Collegiate program tends to be a little over 3.0 for students that decide to enroll, but we do offer admission at a 2.5 GPA. We have a couple of different options in terms of curriculum, and the curriculum options depend on students' English proficiency.
How about scholarship? Do you offer any scholarship?
We do offer some scholarships. Our scholarships start at $15,000, but we also offer scholarships at $20,000 as well. So it's that sort of between $15,000 and $20,000 is our scholarships range.
Qua những chia sẻ của cô Samin thì chúng tôi tin rằng trường ACDC với yêu cầu dễ dàng, linh hoạt hơn cũng như là những hỗ trợ kịp thời trong năm học đầu tiên sẽ mở ra cánh cửa thứ hai cho những bạn học sinh có nhu cầu mong muốn học tập tại các trường top tại Mỹ. Một lần nữa thì cảm ơn cô Samin đã tham gia vào video ngày hôm nay. Thank you so much, Samin, for joining us.
Thank you so much, and I wanted to appreciate, the time that you've given me, as well as our partnership with New World Education. Thank you very much for the time.
Đến đây thì thời lượng của video cũng đã hết. Quý phụ huynh và các bạn học sinh quan tâm và muốn tìm hiểu thêm thông tin về du học Mỹ, vui lòng liên hệ với New World Education qua tổng đài miễn cước 1800 6577, truy cập vào trang web newworldedu.vn và để lại thông tin hoặc để lại bình luận ở bên dưới video để được hỗ trợ. Xin chào và hẹn gặp lại quý vị trong những video tiếp theo.